As I mentioned earlier, we're celebrating our 75th anniversary as a chamber in Cathedral City. And that chamber was started by first mayor Hillary, our first mayor, Robert Hillary. His father started the chamber 75 years ago. And through the years, we've had some great leadership, and some of that leadership is here in the room today. And I'd like to acknowledge some past chairmen and past CEOs. I'd like to acknowledge former chairman and former mayor George Stetler, former chairman Roger Culbertson, former chairman Ron Sellen, former chairman Larry Davis, and former chairman Andy Jessup Jr. Also, former chairman Ori Mann. And we also have a former CEO and president of the chamber in the room too, Greg Wetmore. Thank you, Greg, for all your support. Well, we have a brand new year. This is 2015. It's Happy New Year to everyone, but we also have new leadership, a new direction, and it's my privilege and pleasure to introduce our new mayor, Stan Henry.
Well, thank you. I got to get a couple things going. And first of all, before I forget, does everybody have one of these? Oh, I'm loading this thing up. Okay. Have you turned to the back page? Turn the back page. Down at the bottom. You have no reason Thursday night not to go to the movies. I want to see all 161 of you Thursday night at the movies. You have a free pass. The only thing you have to pay for is popcorn. And if you buy a popcorn card, it's free for a small and only $1 for a large. So I want to see everybody there. So remember that? I got all your faces. I have a photographic memory. I may not remember your name, but I remember your face. And I have you there. So make sure that you are all there on Thursday night. Did I tell you what time? 7 o'clock. Okay. So thank you. I appreciate everybody coming. And Lynn said that there's 161 of you that are here. I have on my list of special guests 162, so somebody didn't show up. I don't know who that is. But before I get started and stuff, I need to acknowledge our ROTC and Colonel Steve Flynn. They still here? They like Lynn said, they are on spring or Christmas break still, so they're out. And then we have Matt Howell. Matt, you want to stand up, please? And the Cathedral City Band. There's some members here that are there, so thank you guys. I know everybody was talking while you were playing, but everybody still got to hear it in the background, so thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. So, like I said, there's a long list of very important people that are here, and please indulge me and let me name off a few of them. Like I said, there was 161 names on here, so that's going to be my speech as I read off your names. But before I get started with the city council and the department heads and those, before I do that, we have a really special group of people here that if they weren't here, and if they weren't working for Cathedral City, nothing would get done. So will all of the city staff please stand up just so that you can get an acknowledgement first. Please, everybody. I said, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be having a State of the City address, we wouldn't be having lights on, we wouldn't be having roads repaired, we wouldn't be having any of the accomplishments that we're going to show you tonight. I'm not going to say talk about, because we've got it in a little special format. It's going to be, we'll show you tonight, or this afternoon. But first I want to acknowledge some really special people. Mayor Pro Tem Greg Pettis, Councilmember Mark Carnevale, Councilmember John Aguilar, Councilmember Shelley Kaplan, City Treasurer Henry Chan, sure, right there. I missed him in the back. Our City Clerk, who gave the presentation for the chamber. Gary, where you at? I know I saw you. Gary. City Manager Charlie McClendon. And this is, he hasn't even had a swearing in yet. But his first event, our new Chief of Police, George Crum. Tammy Scott, Administrative Service Director. Lisa Lukes, our Economic Development Director. Pat Milos, our Community Development Director. Robert Van Nortrick, Fire Chief. Retired Fire Chief, coming back to help. So thank you very much, Robert. Appreciate that. Alan Cavallo, our Public Arts Commissioner. Alan, back there. Roger Culbertson, Finance Advisory Committee, and as Lynn said, past chairperson of Chamber of Commerce. And again, acknowledging George Stetler, past mayor of Cathedral City. So thank you very much. I'm privileged and honored that we have a great big list, of elected officials and representatives. Greg Rodriguez from Congressman Al Ruiz's office. Jacqueline Lopez, Office of Assemblyman Eduardo Garcia. Jacqueline. Pat Cooper, Supervisor John Benoit's office. Rancho Mirage City Council Member Charles Townsend. Secretary Treasurer Vincent Gonzalez III, Agua Caliente Band of Cahuilla Indians. Councilmember Anthony Andreas III, Agua Caliente Band of Cahuilla Indians. All the way from Lake Havasu. So thank you very much. I appreciate you coming that far. Tom Davis, Agua Caliente Chief Planning and Development Officer. A guy that go back way long ago. He and I, Joe Stewart, he's now on the Desert Water Agent Board. He was a FBI foot cop when I was a municipal foot cop, so we went way back. Sherry Stewart, Palm Springs Unified School District Board member. Told you we had a long list. Almost done. Christine Anderson, Superintendent, Palm Springs Unified School District. Crest Lake, Riverside County Board of Education. Kathleen Jaworski, Palm Springs Cemetery District. James Martinez, Executive Director of Cathedral City's, the Cathedral Center. Greg Whitmore, he was introduced once, but Greg Whitmore. So I was told a long time ago that when you make a mistake and you eat crow, eat it when it's young and tender. Scott Robinson, Executive Director of the Cathedral City Boys and Girls Club. I think I have got everybody. If I've missed you, I apologize. So, but thank you for coming. I do have, as Lynn said, a special thank you. We're doing this a little different. You know, as you can see, there's a couple of chairs out here. We're going to have some special guests. We're going to talk, have some conversation with them. We've got some video. I don't like to stand up in front of groups and crowds and give a speech. So I've had the assistance of some very, very talented people. And I need to acknowledge them before we do get started. Chris Parman, our Communication and Events Director. Thank you, sir. Again, Alan Carvalho, our public arts, but he's a whiz with a camera. And so thank you. And again, Lynn Milano, the Chamber of Commerce. So thank you, Lynn, for you guys putting this all on. Okay, we're going to get started. Like I said, instead of you sitting here and listening to me talk for the next 45 minutes, we're going to show you a video. It's going to be all the accomplishments from 2014, and it's going to lead us to where we're going to go to 2015. So I can talk about the things, but by showing you a video of that, and there'll be some narration in that, you'll actually be able to see the accomplishments that these hardworking people in Cathedral City have done for you. So turn the lights down, and we're going to hit the video. Good afternoon. I'm Stan Henry, Mayor of Cathedral City. Welcome to today's State of the City event hosted by the Cathedral City Chamber of Commerce. As we begin the new year, it offers a chance to reflect on the previous year and, more importantly, to look ahead at the future opportunities and challenges that lie before us. 2014 was in many ways a year of transition for Cathedral City, but also a year in which many foundations were built. It was an immensely valuable year that established the promise of prosperity long into the future. First, the city and our federal, state, county, and tribal partners invested in a number of important infrastructure projects that brought long-awaited and critical improvements to the community that will enable Cathedral City to achieve important economic development objectives. Among those projects completed in 2014 were the Ramon Road landscaping improvement, provided in partnership with the Agua Caliente Band of Cahuilla Indians, the Eagle Canyon Dam, built through the efforts of the Riverside County Flood Control District. The dam now provides critical flood protection to the auto dealers and other businesses along East Palm Canyon. The Date Palm Interchange at I-10, constructed in partnership with CVAG and Caltrans, provides improved freeway access to residents and visitors alike. The East Palm Canyon Widening and Infrastructure Project, the Whitewater Park, a grant-funded new project. Initial planning has started on the Festival Park project, which will provide exceptional public space in downtown Cathedral City, and construction has already begun on an interim festival lawn, providing an improved venue for our community events. As you can see, much groundwork was completed in 2014, which will lead to a successful future for Cathedral City. But our achievements weren't limited to public improvements. New businesses also identified Cathedral City as a great place to do business. Among the businesses welcomed to our city in 2014 were Big Five Sporting Goods, Harbor Freight Tools, new restaurants Pinta and Taqueria Los Arcos, adjacent to the Desert Ultramax Theater in downtown, 2 Family Dollar stores, Taco Bell, InShape Fitness, AM/PM, and Dairy Queen, just to name a few. 2014 also brought some significant change in leadership to Cathedral City. New city manager Charlie McClendon relocated to Cathedral City and started his position in March. Communications and event manager Chris Parman joined our team in July. Most recently, George Crum took over the reins for the Cathedral City Police Department as the new chief in December. In November, the voters elected 2 new city council members, Shelley Kaplan and Mark Carnevale. Gary Howell was elected to a full term as city clerk, and Henry Chan was re-elected city treasurer. I, too, was honored that the voters elected me as your mayor. Finally, the city council reappointed John Aguilar in December to fill the last remaining vacant seat on the council. This new leadership team represents the next chapter in Cathedral City. New energy, new ideas, and a sense of working together to get things done. As we set out on this journey, we ask that you, our business leaders, our community stakeholders, and regional partners, join us in making the future of Cathedral City as bright as our desert sun. As the video shows us, the new year offers a chance to reflect on our previous year, and more importantly, to look ahead to the future opportunities and challenges that lie before us. 2014 was in many ways a year of transition for Cathedral City, but it was also a year in which many foundations were built. It was an immensely valuable year that established the promise of prosperity long into the future. It enables Cathedral City to achieve important economic development objectives, which will lead us to a successful Cathedral City in the future. As Cathedral City celebrates its past, it's now time for us to focus on the future. And I have brought some special guests with me today to talk about what is being achieved today and will help us build for Cathedral City's future. This month, your city staff, city council, will be laying out the goals and plans for the future of Cathedral City. I look at our theme for the city council to be take care of business today and build for tomorrow. Now I want to bring a special guest, one by one, up for a dialogue on the future of Cathedral City. First will be Tom Kirk. He's the Executive Director of CVAD, the regional planning agency, coordinating government services in Coachella Valley by providing solutions to the common issues of local government and our tribes that are its members. CVAD promotes a better quality of life and balanced growth for residents of Cathedral City. Huh? Thank you, Tom, for being with us. I know you're feeling a little ill, so if he goes into a coughing spree, we have the fire department here, they can start pumping on him. So, Tom, thank you again for being here with us and taking your time. Can you tell me and tell us about CV Link, how it will be beneficial to the Coachella Valley economy and specifically Cathedral City?
Mayor, thanks for having me again, and I think me being a little ill is a benefit to all of you. I won't be nearly as long-winded as I usually am. So, CV Link, most of you, I gather by your introduction, Mayor, that there are about 100 people here that have been serving Cathedral City in this region for the last 75 years. There's a ex-chairman of this and ex-mayor of that, and et cetera, et cetera. CV Link may be a strange name for some of you in that you might recognize something called the Whitewater River Trail. That stormwater channel that runs behind City Hall and the Auto Center There's a little trail back there. How many of you have been on it? There's a technical term for the quality of that trail right now, and the technical term is it sucks. But it's kind of a cool place. It's kind of a cool place to ride your bike and a cool place to walk. We intend on improving that trail, and we intend on improving it from essentially Tramview Road in Palm Springs all the way to Coachella. A 50-mile long project, the Whitewater River Trail, but it's really more than a trail. And to your point, Mayor, about economic development, your next speaker, Scott White, in the first few weeks coming here from, I think it was San Antonio, Scott, right? There's a little project there, river something, I don't know what it's called. Little project. Scott said, Tom, isn't there more that CVAG can do with its transportation dollars and its power and authority to bring amenities and opportunities for recreation to our visitors? Our multi-billion-dollar tourist economy, we need to bring our economy up to speed and compete in the marketplace to attract people that are here for active living. A lot of our visitors aren't just laying by the pool anymore. A lot of you, when you go somewhere else, are continuing your exercising and maybe even doing more on vacation than you do otherwise. We're short of those facilities in the Coachella Valley. So we took a trail called the Whitewater River Trail that had virtually no prospect of funding. Virtually no prospect of funding, and we supersized it. And for those, the kind of the anti-government crowd, I'm kind of in that category, we took a $35 million project and made it a $100 million project, and made it a transportation project, a public health project, and importantly, an economic development tool. And I'm proud to say in the last 2 years, we've assembled $75 million, mostly from outside sources, to make this project happen. Good news is we have $75 million. Bad news, some of that money is federal dollars, so it slows down the initial process for those that have dealt with federal grants. The tribe certainly has that experience. It takes a long time to go through the paperwork, but we're well on our way. We've got the engineering and design team on board, and Cathedral City is really ground zero. Fortunately, the trail exists here, even in its not so high quality state. But the trail is here, and we're going to improve it to a high quality project like you see. Last thing I want to say, the video is kind of cool, right? Thank you for seeing the video. I want to point out the star of the video, Cindy Orozco. You hate this, but stand up, please. Cindy and the Burke Ricks team put this thing together. Cindy is not only the star of the video, but she is a resident of Cathedral City. So thank you, Cindy.
I just want to let you know up front that, and you mentioned it, and I'm going to hold you to it, and I think this is on tape, that ground zero is Cathedral City. So we want the first part built between Cathedral Canyon and Dade Palm, and you can expand from there. Tom, you know, we hear about transportation and the roads and getting from one end of Coachella Valley to the other, and Cathedral City sits right in the middle of that. Tell us about the CVAG's regional traffic plan and the traffic signalization projects for Highway 111 and Ramon Road.
One of the things I often get, and I'm sure you hear this all the time, is, well, we've got 9 cities in the Coachella Valley, and they don't work very well together. And there's sometimes a little bit of truth to that, but for the most part, that's not the case. And in fact, CVAG and the cities out here have been working together for 40 years, and believe it or not, there's an amazing amount of cooperation and coordination. And among our most difficult projects, and of course Mayor Pro Tem Greg Pettis knows this, was Dade Palm Interchange. Even with the challenges on Dade Palm Interchange, I look at it as a success in our program. That was the second highest ranked project for us to accomplish in the last few years. Not for Cathedral City, for the entire Coachella Valley, and just about every city in the Coachella Valley contributed financially to improving that interchange. Find another region in the nation that does that kind of cooperation. We work well together on funding major infrastructure in the Coachella Valley. Frankly, though, we haven't done a very good job on signal synchronization. A few years ago, our organization, CVAG, paid a lot of money for a consultant to go out and figure out how to synchronize signals, and then we gave the keys to 9 different cities. And guess what happens when you cross a city border? There's a different chief that's in charge of signal synchronization. This time we're going to do it right. We're going to synchronize all the major intersections in the Coachella Valley, and we're going to have a centralized system to make sure that once you cross city boundaries, it doesn't fall apart.
Thank you very much. And I know that traffic around here has been very, very difficult. One last question, short answer, but tell us what the economic impact does for CVAG has on local businesses, the cities, and again specifically to Cathedral City.
Well, we have a number of programs that Cathedral City is certainly involved in, whether it's energy or transportation. The one I want to really focus on as we enter, hopefully, a continued period of moderate growth. I don't particularly want to see the crazy high growth. Some of you might, but at least moderate growth moving forward. I see a number of those in the room that know very well about our multiple species plan. And what is that? What does it mean for Cathedral City? What it means is instead of every time there's a new development proposed in Cathedral City, well, first of all, is anybody from the federal government here? Then I could be mean-spirited and factual. For new development, and for those like Tom remembers, 20 years ago dealing with the federal government in the building industry, Gretchen, you're here. 20 years ago when we proposed new development, we had to go through the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to get it approved. If endangered species, there was even a hint of endangered species on a piece of property. A hint of endangered species. Today, that's not the case, and we essentially regulate ourselves. Development pays a fee and proceeds. They don't have to deal with the federal government, and some of us know very well what a challenge that is, and we basically police ourselves, and I believe Cathedral City and the rest of the valley will be poised for taking in those development applications as they come in.
Thank you. Thank you very much for spending some time with us and answering some questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Next, I want to introduce Scott White. He's the president and CEO of the Greater Palm Springs Convention and Visitors Authority. The Greater Palm Springs Convention and Visitor Bureau, also known as CVB, is the coordinating agency for valley-wide tourism, marketing, and promotional efforts aimed at leisure, corporate, incentive, and convention group markets. As the CVB marketing partner, Cathedral City has the opportunity to reach consumers from around the world through various sales and marketing efforts. So, Scott?
Life is either an incredible adventure or it's nothing at all.
Greater Palm Springs. Who knew?
Thank you, Scott, for being with us. I will tell you that I have done some of those hikes, but not in 7 days. When I saw that video at one of your meetings, it was one of the best ones I've seen, so thank you very much. I appreciate that. Scott, tell us about how Valley-wide tourism, marketing, and promotional efforts are a benefit to Cathedral City and our local businesses.
Sure. Well, real quick on that video that you saw there, that was a little bit of a change from our traditional marketing. We actually asked these two gentlemen that had done some previous videos for us, and we said, we want you to kind of show the world that we have more than golf in the destination, and we gave them total creative freedom. So this was actually a pitch on their part to get business from us to do 5 or 6 or 7 future videos in the future. So it was really just a test on their part, and so we like it so much, we said we plan to use it. So we had to buy the rights to the music and all of them. But they're going to do probably 5 or 6 more of those. We call them web series videos. And so kind of back to your question about tourism and what we do in Cathedral City is tourism generates over 46,000 jobs for the Coachella Valley. If tourism didn't exist, each household in the Coachella Valley would have to spend an extra $3,200 a year in supplemental taxes to have the quality of life and all the amenities that we have in our destination. So what we find is that we're really marketing the destination as a region, and we're marketing what you can do in the destination, the activities we have, whether it's wellness, it's things to do, nightlife, it's outdoor adventure, it's all the events that we have, it's the attractions and product development. And our budget has grown now over the past couple of years. We've been able to really convince the larger hotels to give us additional assessments. They're assessing themselves these dollars that allows us to market the region not only in California, but the Pacific Northwest, up into Canada. We're in China now, Australia, Germany, the UK, and so forth. And what's that doing is allowing Lynn and the local businesses and so forth to really focus on tourism locally within the market. So it's taking the pressure off of each city to have to market themselves regionally, nationally, and internationally, and allows the cities to build product like you're doing with events. So Lynn, thank you she attends all of our marketing meetings, she provides impact to us, provides us updates with what's happening in your destination, and we're using that through digital media to tell the story about your events and different things that are happening in the community to then drive people to the destination and hopefully spend lots of money and then go home.
There you go. Thank you. We want that money.
We want them to come back and spend
Yes,
more.
we do. Scott, tell us how the City of Cathedral City, the Cathedral City Chamber is working as partners with CVB to benefit Cathedral City businesses.
And as I just mentioned, I probably jumped into question number 2 a little bit there, but we're really working together to understand the product that you have in the future. So one of the things that we've engaged this year is we've hired multiple companies to do a master plan. And really what our goal is to help educate the communities and the cities on what product development that they need to create, what experiences they need to create, like a CV Link, that's going to attract the next generation of modern travelers. So the master planning companies are working on that right now. We're doing intercept studies. So Lynn's been coming to those meetings. I know we've interviewed a lot of the city staff and a lot of the community leaders. And what we really want to do is give you the tools and resources, the chamber and the city, on what you can do to really access and attract that type of visitor into your city, attract long-term growth, to help build additional resorts like this, which ironically I worked at in 1987 and 88 when I was here the first time, which is kind of funny. But really it's a great partnership between the CVB and the cities to say, you build it, we'll market it on a national and international level to make sure we're driving people here to spend lots of money, and then hopefully they'll invest in the destination and build a home here and live here full time.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Now, one last question is, how important is the Palm Springs Airport that benefits local tourism economy?
Access overall is probably the number one detriment or attribute to our destination. We have a great airport. It's grown considerably. We've had record number increases over the last few years. But the challenge we have is that it is still difficult to get here. And so the airport is both what we call an asset attribute and also a detriment to a certain degree. We lose 2/3 of our air access come June. So the flights go away come June. That really kind of slows us down from being a year-round destination. If you look at the Phoenix, Scottsdale area, Charlie and I were talking about this, go back 20, 25 years ago, they had a little airport. Look at them today, they're a major hub. Now certainly we don't want to be a major hub, we want to keep the beautiful resort port that we have. But we're working hard with Tom Nolan at the airport. We're using some of these new dollars to attract new service to the destination. How do we grow service? So we're trying to bookend it. How do we get the flights to stay a little bit longer into June, maybe come sooner into September? So as a quick example, we found out last year that American Airlines was not coming back. They used to come back to Chicago in September, then they came back in October, and then last year they were moving that to the end of November. So we sat down with them, we signed a contract that says basically if you don't meet your revenue guarantees, we'll bridge the gap up to a certain amount, and they agreed to come back in October. So we're going to need to do more of that as a regional destination to get flights here year-round, to get flights here in the fall, and maybe someday we'll have international flights into the destination. I think we could be that additional airport that's considered Southern California beyond just Palm Springs, and really be recognized internationally.
I know being here for a long time, and you've been here, for a long time. It used to be in the summertime businesses, and everybody closed up. And we don't have that. We are a year-round business, and we need to make sure that we do draw on that tourism and for our local economy and stuff to build. Thank you very much. Again, I appreciate you being here and spending the time with us.
Thank you.
Ezekiel Bonnet, I messed it up. I had it too. The director of the Small Business Development Center for Coachella Valley Economic Partnership. The Coachella Valley Small Business Development Center offers free individualized confidential counseling as well as business education and support services to help existing and startup business grow and to contribute to the region's economy. So thank you, Zeke.
The Coachella Valley Economic Partnership. Dedicated business people, investors, entrepreneurs, and community leaders. Helping businesses overcome barriers, funding new projects, developing a highly skilled future workforce, and preparing students for college and careers. We're making the Coachella Valley one of the best places in the world to live, work, and invest. It started with a clear vision for the future. Now we're poised for growth in targeted industries. Entrepreneurs are coming from all over the world, launching new ventures here every day. Healthy progress means educated, responsible farming that delivers quality produce, high returns, and abundant employment. Cutting-edge clean technology brings power to the people with solar, wind, and geothermal energy. An expanding healthcare industry connects professionals to vital jobs, caring for more patients. Nurturing a hotbed of creativity, arts institutions, film, music, fashion, web, and design. At the crossroads of Southern California and the gateway to the Southwest, perfectly positioned to move products coast to coast. A warm welcome to thousands of visitors from around the world. Funding expansions and renovations at our world-class resorts to meet growing demand. The hot jobs of the 21st century are here. Closing the gap between the classroom and the real world. Partnering employers to local schools and colleges. 9 growing cities, all the resources to make your future a success, right here in the Coachella Valley. Connect with us, grow with us, build your future here. The perfect climate for success. Learn more about the Coachella Valley Economic Partnership and opportunities to grow.
Thank you, Zeke, for being with us.
Thanks for being here.
And again, I apologize for butchering your last name.
I forget my name sometimes, so.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's why I have a driver's license, so that I can look and see what my name is too. Comes with age. Zeke, tell us about CVEP Small Business Development Center and what it has to offer Cathedral City businesses.
Yeah, so the Coachella Valley Small Business Development Center, we opened our doors in 2012, and it's funded in part by the U.S. Small Business Administration. And the purpose is really to help small businesses, entrepreneurs to either launch their business, whether they're looking to start up, or existing entrepreneurs to gain access to resources such as the most important thing is capital in the form of loans or 504 loans, or even opportunities for contracting with federal government or ensuring procurement opportunities.
Thank you. Why is CVEP so important to Coachella Valley and specifically Cathedral City's economy?
I think CVEP, what it does, it helps organize the region's small business community. We have a vast territory, but we are sparsely populated in comparison to Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino. And so with the small community that we do have here, it's important that we have a unified voice that really helps represent the region, but also that helps bring key resources to the business community across here. A lot of times, most of us will live in one city, have our business in another, and shop it in a different city. So all this really does tie into ensuring that commerce, to ensuring that we have plenty of commerce and we have a healthy small business community.
Yeah, I think you've led right into this. Into the next question is, having CVEP, why is it so important to Coachella Valley and Cathedral City's economy?
You know, CVEP, one of the key things that we do to get in CVEP, outside of just working with small businesses, is to ensure that we have a quality workforce. And what that means is working with our educators across the communities, across the 3 school districts. It's important that we ensure that our kids are getting the right education, that they're being paired up with the right training opportunities to ensure that they have the necessary education that aligns with what they want to do. So when they do finish their post-secondary education, whether they go to college or a trade school or university, they have the jobs and remain here in the region. So that really ties into ensuring that our employers have a valuable workforce. In addition, we ensure that our employers have the resources to ensure that they can succeed.
I know that when I was the chief of police, and we worked with the College of the Desert to build a regional training center there, because we wanted to make sure that we could train people locally so that they would stay here and we wouldn't have to be recruiting outside and keeping our, so appreciate it. All of you small businesses that are out there, you should be taking advantage of CVEP's stuff. And I know you've got something here if you want to.
We have our annual economic report that was released in October at our summit, and they're to my left. It has a lot of great information on some of the key things that we're doing here at CVEP for the region, but also information that is valuable. It gives you valuable insight if you're trying to grow your business and seeking new opportunities to expand.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you spending your time. So you can see Cathedral City's on the move, you know, and there's a lot of good things that are happening in Cathedral City. There's a lot of stuff that 2015 is going to be a fantastic year for Cathedral City. We've got, like I said, new leadership, new direction, new vision, and a lot of energy. Everybody is willing and waiting to move. So we've got one last video that we're going to show you on showing you how much there is in Cathedral City for you to do. You don't need to go to Phoenix or Las Vegas or LA or San Diego. You can stay here and you can stay in Cathedral City, and there is something for you to do every weekend. So thank you very much. We're going to show the last video, and then you get back to work. So thank you.
You're a sky full of stars. I wanna die in your arms. Cause you get lighter the more it gets dark. I'm gonna give you my heart. I don't care, go on and tear me apart. I don't care if you do. 'Cause there's no stopping us right now. I feel so close to you right now. There's no stopping us right now. I feel so close to you right now.
I do want to give you an opportunity, if anybody has a question or two, real short or something, if there is a question. No questions, thank you very much. I appreciate it. We'll appreciate everybody coming and having a good time. Thank you.